Started playing football at 5 years old. As soon as he could walk, the first thing he went and grabbed was a football. We knew right there that football was his deal. I tried baseball, I tried soccer, but football is where he went at 5 years old. So he played a lot of flag up until then. Up until about fifth grade was the first time he put a helmet and pads on.
Basically, I started when I was 5. I started with flag football because my parents were a little nervous when it came to the contact for tackle football. But I played until I was in 5th grade, and then I finally got the pads on and started hitting people. My first hitting drill, I got put on my butt.
Well, when he first started, as a mom, I was very worried, seeing your son take some hits, and he was undersized, so especially knowing that he was undersized, taking those hits, I was always nervous, but I knew his dad was training him well. He always worked hard, never gave up, didn't let his size really play a factor. And my nerves started settling once I started seeing he was okay, and I think because of his size, for some reason he would always weasel out from underneath those piles, and he was always okay. I think he was able to slip through the cracks there.
And then I moved on to middle school, so 6th grade, and I didn't play much in middle school. I was severely undersized. I'd be, for example, 4'11", and the next shortest kid would be 5'2". So the gap in between me and the other kids was significant. So I didn't really play much in middle school, and that really got to me.
Because as mom, I didn't push the athletics as much as dad, but what I had to do was, sometimes dry the tears. Because he had so much adversity in the beginning, he was very undersized, and sometimes I say to myself, what am I doing as a mom? Putting my kid out there. A lot of people didn't believe in him, didn't give him the chance. They would look at him and wouldn't even practically put him on a sideline. But he persevered through all that, and I would tell him, hard work pays off, even when he would say to me, when is it going to pay off? And I would say, in time it will.
Youth and, middle school years were very tough. When it comes to my size. I never played that much. I always sat the bench, and as somebody with, college football dreams, that's going to get to you. And that did get to me. I would go home after games and cry in the shower because I would always ask myself, why am I so small? And, seeing me then to now and seeing all my accomplishments that I'm achieving now as a senior in high school, it really, it's unbelievable.
Cross has made an amazing transformation. From freshman year till now, he might have weighed like low 100s his freshman year. He was really a small kid, really undersized, late developer, late bloomer, and he's really built himself into what he is now. I mean, he works hard. He works out hard in season as well as out of season. Like, he's nonstop. Very reliable, dependable, and he's like what Springstead football is all about. We need guys like him, and hopefully these young guys that are coming up, we got a really good freshman class. Hopefully they emulate, the things that Cross is doing on and off the field.
But once I got to high school, I started, living in the weight room a little bit more, eating right, all that good stuff, and I hit a huge growth spurt between my sophomore and junior year, and from there I also was just continuing with the weights, and now I'm 5'10", 155, and I feel good.
Cross views weightlifting as his own challenge in itself. He competes. He's got competition running through his blood, I think. So with weightlifting, he works on the off season on particular lifts, so that when regions and states come, that he's competing for a podium spot. He works hard at weightlifting, just for weightlifting, for those certain lifts that come with weightlifting, just so that he compete and be possibly on a podium at state time.
He also does boys weightlifting. He's looking at trying to be a state competitor this year at his weight class. He's around the 154 weight class, and he's really, even as we're in football season, he's been training pretty heavily to try and maintain where he's at, or even get better, so he could get towards the state, to the state meet. So if he puts his mind to something, he sets his mind to something, he really has that. He focuses on it. He has that goal, and he's going to do everything he can to achieve that goal. So, and really, the weightlifting and how strong he's gotten has helped him, tremendously on the field. And he's transformed himself and is such a great player for us that, you know, we look forward to him representing Springstead on to the next level.
I started competitive weightlifting freshman year because Coach Garofano just was like, hey, we need a guy in 119. Again, very low weight class, but I was like, you know what, I'll do it. You know, I wasn't very serious when it came to lifting weights at the time. I was just kind of doing him a favor. But I actually really liked it, doing it competitively, because I realized I was actually not too bad at it. So I skipped sophomore year, but then junior year I came back to it because I just liked lifting weights and seeing physical changes to my body and seeing, me putting up better numbers every week. So I decided to do it again for my junior year. And I actually thought I was going to do not too well, but turns out I was actually pretty good at it. So now I'm really, really serious about it, and I'm hoping to make it to States this year.
Cross has always done very well academically. I'm a teacher myself, so he knows that I don't play when it comes to grades. Like any other teenager, doing homework may be a challenge sometimes, so I'll say to him, hey, did you get your homework done or whatever, because I will contact a teacher pretty quickly. But his grades, he's always had a 4.0 or higher. Anytime he sees a grade starting to slip, I really don't even have to say anything to him. He'll come home right away and say, I know, Mom, I'm on it. You don't even have to say anything to me, because I check grades pretty much on a daily basis. So I do think that he knows that grades are important, because, athletics is not all there is. He needs the academic portion of it to be successful as well. So he's always been on honor rolls and principals list and all of that his entire life. He's never had any disciplines, so I can say that's a big deal for a teenager. Never been written up once in his life. He's a model student.
He's always had a goal of being a student college athlete. Since he was little, he's always wanted to play football in a college. Division I, Division II, Division III, whatever it may be, but he knew that his studies really, really mattered to get to those goals and dreams.
Well, what it takes to be a great student is being able to manage your time, especially when you're a student athlete, because you have not only school, but you have extracurricular activities, like for me, football and weightlifting. So managing time is definitely probably the biggest aspect when it comes to that. And not only that, just when it comes to school, paying attention. Just pay attention, and you'll be able to get through and make good enough grades. And so just be respectful, pay attention, and just come to work.
Cross is, since for years he's been saying he's been wanting to get into the medical field, either surgeon on ACLs, knees, sports medicine. I think he's gone ahead and made the decision to be a physician's assistant. So he is going to probably major in biology or chemistry, and then further his education at physician assistant school.
Well, of course, I want to, it's been my lifelong dream to, be a collegiate student athlete. So I obviously want to play ball in college. But then, aside from playing ball, I also want to major in biology, because I want to get into the medical field, more specifically a physician's assistant or a chiropractor, or maybe even a surgeon. I'll figure that out as I go. But yeah, I really like biology. I like science and all that good stuff.
Cross's senior season to me is really bittersweet. To see where he came from, he has almost dreamed of being the lead back, wearing number 3, at his mother and father's alumni at Springstead. And it's here, right before every game, I tell Cross to, when he's coming on the field, take a breath, take a look at the crowd, take it all in. I'm sure I'm going to have a tear or two, especially on senior night. As a father, I'm so proud, but I'm going to be sad.
When I stand in those stands every Friday night, I don't sit, I stand, and I just take it all in myself, because this is what we wanted, this is what he wanted, and we just supported him to get there. So every game makes me a little bit sadder, because I know it's one more game closer to the last. So I just love every second of it, even if I'm holding my breath half the time. I'm so proud of him.
It's funny, I remember 2 years ago as a sophomore, he was kind of a JV pull-up at the end of the season, and he had 2 carries against Central, and both of them were touchdowns, at the end of the game, kind of in mop-up time. And so you knew he was going to be special, and he's got a bright future ahead of him, and he's really helped us out tremendously through this year.
My last game, I would definitely, it'd be very bittersweet. The good would be, new journeys ahead of me and, new goals to accomplish. But, obviously I'd be very upset because, Springstead's been my home for the last 4 years. I love the coaching staff and my teammates, and that being the last game that I played with that crew, very emotional because, they've been my family for the past 4 years. Well, I'd like to thank, specifically Coach Garofano. He's the one who's really taken me in and, treated me almost like his own kid when it comes to, the football aspect and school aspect. Coach Hines, definitely, he's the one who really sparked the beginning of my recruiting. Coach Kupchak, he's the athletic director. He does a really good job at that. He gets us, new lights and stuff for light shows and stuff, and all the coaches really, all the coaches, play a really big role, their own role that really makes everything come together. So without all of our coaches, it wouldn't be the same. And then I would also, like to thank my family because they were the biggest support crew for me. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have quit, during my middle school years. But, they were always the one that were saying to me, hey, keep going, your hard work will pay off and stuff like that. And obviously it's paying off. I do like to sing. Nobody knows this, not even my parents know this, but I do like to sing, when I'm by myself, and I actually think I'm pretty good at it, and a lot of people don't know that.